And I think you can start it up whenever.
Welcome back to the lucky 13th episode of podcast. I'm Brendan Murphy with my co-host.
Restart it. It just did a weird chop out thing right at the beginning. Just for a second, but it's a weird way to start.
Well, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, we might as well if it's that easy.
Welcome back to the 13th episode of the First of the Worst podcast. I'm Brendan Murphy.
And I'm Steve Arendas.
And this week's topic is about drinking, and I did a lot of it last night. So maybe it'll segue in nicely. I went to Indianapolis for a friend's 30th birthday, and it was kind of an all-day thing, and people were dropping like flies. You know, his wife made it until about 9. Another
man.
Yeah, 9 p.m. And when we're on similar trajectories, didn't last that long, and then slowly but surely people kept dropping, and then there was just 3 of us left: the birthday boy and me and another friend. And so he lives in a neighborhood in Indianapolis, which, by the way, it's now my home away from 2 of the past 4 weekends there. That allowed us to walk to the bars. So we were out quite late, which will segue nicely into what we're talking about. But I'm in a weird place because we had to wake up early. There was a car, and I feel like, you know what this feels like is a travel wedding hangover. And that's one of the worst kinds of hangovers.
Oh, yeah. That's a bad hangover.
A travel wedding hangover, because not only do you feel like your stomach's off, your body's sore, but you're so damn tired. I am exhausted.
Yeah, you're tired, and you can't, like, being in a car on the long ride home is no way to recover from a hangover.
No, it's misery. You know, so I got maybe 40 minutes of sleep, but no, 40 minutes of sleep this afternoon. Pardon me. I went to bed at 3 o'clock last noon, back up at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
So here we are.
The only thing worse than the travel wedding hangover is being the driver on the travel wedding hangover.
That is the worst punishment possible.
Yeah, it's so bad.
So today everyone was kind of in that same state, and it was not my car. And normally I'm kind of the guy who will volunteer to take a shift.
It's not gonna happen.
It just was not in the cards today. And I could tell Mac, my buddy, wanted out, and I just kind of was like, I can't, man. I'm sorry. So his fiance brought us in. God bless Katie Western.
Well, how long of a drive is it from Indianapolis?
Okay, it's 3 hours, but because of this car trouble, we had to rent a car, so we had to drive to the Indianapolis airport.
So it was a whole thing.
And then return it to O'Hare, and then get from. I mean, it took like 5 or 6 hours to get home today. It was like a pretty rough hangover travel day.
It's like the worst. Oh man, my weekend wasn't as exciting as it was a baby shower weekend, number 2, back to back, and I'm done now. I think
you're done.
Yeah, this one was pretty stressful.
You doubled down on babies. You doubled down on showers.
Yeah, this one was not as guy friendly as the last one. I was basically a lady shower, but I had to be there to open gifts and such.
Last week was just a party.
Yeah.
If that's what showers are, I could have a shower for anything. I should just have an April shower. It's called a day at the bar, drinking with your friends, starting at noon.
Ending very late, maybe.
Ending very late. So drinking is the topic of this week's podcast. It is hyper local.
Yeah.
So our national listeners may not have as much interest, but I still think the comic value will be there.
Yeah, it should be good. But before we jump in, quick, a couple updates from last week's podcast. One, as we talked about Mad Men and Game of Thrones. One, the guy who Roger Sterling fires twice, who we talked about and couldn't remember, is Bert Peterson.
I watched that scene after our podcast.
And 2, apparently I was right, and Daenerys Targaryen is a product of incest.
That one surprised me.
Yeah.
That I got that wrong. I'm usually on point with the Game of Thrones.
Yeah. The person you thought was her mother was actually her older brother's
wife.
Kinda, maybe. I don't know exactly. But yeah, he was with her older brother, not with her dad.
Oh, okay. The one that's kind of a spoiler. possibly.
So I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, really.
Yeah. Okay, that was very vague. We apologize.
All right, so let's kick it off. So this week we are going to be talking about good old Chicago 4 a.m. bars.
And so you sent me a list on DNA Info.
Yeah.
I think my batting average is pretty good. I've been to there was probably 50 or so bars there. I would guess I've been to 20 to 25 of them.
Well, I've been to 28.
28. Okay.
It doesn't include bars that were closed because that was only open bars in Chicago that were on that list.
Yeah. Although I think some bars weren't on there that are 4 a.m. bars.
I'm sure there was some.
Because I'm quite confident Wrigleyville North has a 4 a.m. liquor license. And when we say 4 a.m. bar, we're talking about that there are two types of liquor licenses in Chicago. There is for bars. There's a 2 a.m. liquor license and there's a 4 a.m. liquor license. And of course, on Saturday nights, those are till 3 and 5 a.m. respectively.
Yes.
To clarify for our national audience who is clearly so interested
in the weird Chicago liquor license laws.
And they're attached to the building. So you could sell your building for more if you have a 4 a.m. liquor license potentially.
It's a big deal. This is a tough one for me. And not that it's tough because I haven't been to it. I've clearly been to a lot of these places. I'm a little out of the 4 a.m. bar game as a married man with a 7-month pregnant wife.
I think my last 4 a.m. bar, although I was at bars till 3 a.m. yesterday, I was impressed that Indianapolis had 3 a.m. closing time. I was a little surprised. And we made sure to
Indianapolis bars close at 11 p.m. or something like that.
Yes, I mean, I thought that they were probably just busy tilling. They had to get to bed to till all the cornfields in the morning. But my most recent foray into a 4 a.m. bar that I can think of was Carol's in December after the Groupon holiday party.
I don't actually know what the exact. Here's the thing. There was the tough part for me about making this list. These bars all blur together in my mind.
That's why I did also recently around then go to one, but it was the only time I've ever been there. And I think I had a really good time, but I just didn't feel right putting it on the list.
So that's what a lot of these are. I think I've had a good time at them. And I honestly don't know where a lot of these bars are. You know where they are is where they're in a cab because I go into a cab and tell them to take me when I'm drunk.
You could neighborhood proximate. You could give
most of
neighborhood.
Them. Most of them. There's a couple of these bars where I don't think I could find without looking them up and just going to them.
Mine was pretty north side heavy.
Yeah, same here. So I basically only put bars on this list that I've been to.
Oh, yeah, I didn't put any I haven't been into. My omission, since I usually start the list anyway, was the Owl, which I went to a couple months ago, sometime over the winter, on a pretty drunk night, and enjoyed it. Thought it had good music. I was the least hip person there, but I don't have enough recollection to really account for that. The reason I feel bad about that is because I don't really have much representation of that area, the Logan Square.
I have zero.
Park area. So I really wanted to budget and put it on there, but it's just not accurate.
I have zero. Our lists are going to be really different, I feel like.
I don't know. We live so close together that I will see. It'll be we welcome the difference. We embrace the debate here on the First of the Worst podcast as a former employer of mine used to champion. I guess I'll go into number 10, and I don't think this will be on your list, and I think that there's a pretty solid reason that it shouldn't be on the list. But in the end, this isn't just about a value proposition, because this place is not a value proposition at all because it's a $15 cover.
Oh, what is this?
This is Kingston Mines, which is a 4 or 5 a.m. bar.
Yeah, it is for sure.
Halstead in Lincoln Park.
And I've weirdly never been there.
Oh, I'm surprised you haven't been there.
Because everybody's been there.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's blues going constantly. There's two stages. So when one band ends, another band starts immediately. And you will see some really drunk out-of-towners and older people, which is always funny.
It's a lot of kids. I feel like people bring their parents there.
Yes.
And parents. It's very weird that I've never been there because my wife, when we were dating, like when we were engaged, even like lived very, very, very close to it.
It's a staple. I feel like I really do.
Is it open 24 hours a day? Here's why I say that. Because I used to leave my wife's, at the time, my fiance's. Just, we weren't married, guys. We were just hanging out. That was it. In the morning, on the way to work. And there'd be like a bouncer standing in front of the door every morning at like 7:30.
I don't know. I don't really know that they could. I mean, the liquor licenses obviously end. I suppose you could stay open.
Yeah, that'd be weird, but I don't know.
I mean, people were still probably leaving there at that time because the way it's set. Well, I mean, employees because the way it sets up.
So maybe that's what it was. Like they were like cleaning, or I don't know. There's like people just around doing stuff.
But Kingston Mines, fun time. I'd recommend it. As I said, kind of a ripoff because it's not like you're getting cheaper drinks either. You're paying for the entertainment. Yeah,
well, I mean, you're paying for the entertainment, right? Okay, I will get into my number 10. My number 10 is a bar I've been to a few times. I used to live very close to it. It's called Barrel House Flat. It's in Lincoln Park.
Never been. I hear it's kind of fancy now.
It is. It's always been fancy since it changed to Barrel House Flat.
Okay.
And it is just like fancy drinks. It is I guess, maybe a late night date 4 a.m. bar. I've only been to it because I lived very close to it. I was like, I just need another drink. The problem is they have it's like fancy mixologist drinks.
I hate that stuff. And if you need a late night date bar, it should be your house. That's where you go for your 4 a.m. drinks, and then hopefully you're not drinking.
Well, no, see, this is a late night date with my wife.
Oh, pardon me. You've already closed the deal, as they like to say.
Yeah, I've already closed the deal. Also, that bar is very self-important, and there's way too many bartenders wearing vests.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little surprised if you've been to 28 4 a.m. bars and that one makes your top 10.
I hate them all.
I think I'm going to put several that you've been to a bunch that you hate that I don't necessarily love, but I love the memories of them.
There's a lot. I will tell you if you name a bar, I will tell you if I've been there. I have my list of everyone I've been to that I cut down from a bigger list.
Okay.
I can just read them off really fast.
Yeah, let's just go real fast.
All right, you ready? This is I don't know what this order is. It's maybe by neighborhood, but okay. Big City Tap, Tie Still 4, Barrel House Flat, Beaumont Bar and Grill, Frank's, Gamekeepers, Max Bar, The Store, Yaxie's, Miller's Pub and Restaurant, South Loop Club, Boss Bar, Burton Place, Butch McGuire's, Hang Up, Joe's Bar, The Lodge, McFadden's, Old Town Ale House, The Redhead Piano Bar, Shenanigans House of Beer, Sound Bar, Stout, VIP's Gentlemen's Club, Jefferson Tap and Grill, Carol's Pub, Uptown Lounge, Tavern, and Green Mill.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to most of those places. I would say that I was pretty solid about 20 on about. There were probably about 6 of those that I haven't been to.
And then you've been to some other ones.
Yeah. I do have to do a little bit of list reconfiguring because you named one that I have spent a ton of time at that I have to put on my list. So I don't know exactly who I'm going to be kicking off here.
There's also some I know I've been to that are closed now, and I didn't put those on the list. I don't know why. It's not against the rules. They didn't make my list anyway. They wouldn't have made my list. Nick's Uptown. Okay. I'm looking at you.
I mean, Nick's Uptown was the obvious omission. When we were configuring the rules of this, you asked me if it included bars that were that had been closed, and I knew you were talking about Nick's.
But I hate that bar, so it's not gonna make, I used to live next door to it.
There was a guy stabbed there when I was living adjacent to it, and I think it was kind of the death knell. He didn't die, thankfully. So maybe death knell.
Did we live in the same building at the same time and not know each other? Because
I was not adjacent to it. I was a block down, so I was Sheridan and Sheffield.
I lived next door.
Which is 2.5 blocks from Nick's.
Okay. All right, so I go to my number 9 then, right?
And as you do that, I'm going to have to do a quick reconfiguration, but I am obviously listening.
Okay, my number 9 is Big City Tap, a.k.a. Big Shitty. Right? Nobody calls it anything besides Big Shitty, basically.
And friend of the show, a good friend of the show, would have put that number 1, if I'm not mistaken.
My buddy Paul.
Paul, I think, is a lover of Big Shitty merely for geographic convenience.
I don't know if he'd put it number 1, but he goes there because of geographic convenience. Because like you can't really get home without going right past it. And like it's like on the way home, if you're not doing anything, and you're with people, you just walk in and get a beer.
Yeah.
The only reason I've ever been there is because of him. 100% of every time I've been there is because of him.
Oh, I've been there because I was 22.
Also,
that's what happened there.
I hate that they don't let you take beers on the dance floor. I hate it. It's such a dumb rule.
I'm not a dancer, so that was never really affected me.
This is why our lists are going to be different.
Nor did I remember that. That was a ground rule. I will say this, and this is forthcoming on my list as well. Pretty quick here. In fact, did you do your 2?
Yeah. So you're at 9 and 8.
Okay. Well, my number 8 is the Big Shitty Tap.
Okay.
I have had mozzarella sticks there.
They have food.
They have food. I've eaten mozzarella sticks there. My number 9 is Jefferson Tap, which is in the West Loop, which is one of the only late night bars. It's a good bar, and it's like there's not a lot of 4 a.m. situations over there.
Yeah, don't they give you road cups? I swear to God, I've had a road cup from there.
I have,
which is not legal, by the way.
But I mean, of the times that I've been at a 4 a.m. bar, I went to see a concert that started at midnight in October at the Cobra Lounge on Ashland. And there were no bars open in that area except Jefferson Tap. And we were there till about 4:15.
I think I've left there with a road cup at like 7 p.m. because you could tell them you're going on the train.
Oh, that's right. The whole train loophole.
So I used to work right by. I used to eat lunch there every Friday, and like watch SportsCenter and just goof off for like 2 hours on Friday lunches when I used to work at that job. I like that bar though. I couldn't really grade it as a 4 a.m. bar because I've never really been there past like 10.
I'm kind of cheating, but as I had to bump something out, what got bumped out was Dublin's, which is downtown, an older bar.
Yeah, I've never been there.
There's a guy that sits at the bar that pays for everything in tickets, which is awesome.
How does that even work?
I don't know. He just has all these connections, so he'll be like, "Oh yeah, here are 2 Bulls tickets," and then that's his life. I don't really know. This guy's a friend of a friend.
That's amazing.
And I actually haven't actually seen him exchange currency that way, but I have heard that is his reputation. One of those guys who's America's house guest, though, who like pay for much sure. Anyway.
And then your 8 was Big City or Big Shitty.
Big Shitty. So I did kind of triple down there, but
that's fine. Whatever.
For the record, Dublin's got the boot. Sorry.
Okay. Then I'm gonna go number 8. It's probably one I'm guessing you have a lot higher. It's Carol's Pub.
I was wondering if that would be on your list at all because we have discussed this.
Here's why. I don't really like the bar, but I've had good times there because it's a bar that a lot of people like. So you can get a big group of people to go there that you're friends with, which makes it fun.
I would almost.
I don't get the bar. I don't get why people like it.
It's kind of a reverse Kingston Mines, and that's super cheap. And it's live music.
Here's the thing. I almost swore. I have no effing clue what anything costs when I go to a 4 a.m. bar, so price doesn't matter. It just doesn't.
Most of them are so shitty that they're not that expensive.
Unless you're going to like a club, which I don't do. So
yeah.
So yeah, I don't really get Carol's. I'm sure you'll talk about it later and explain why it's awesome. Then I'm gonna go number 7, which is a bar I've been to like twice, maybe once. I don't know, but I had a good time. And it's Stout Barrel House. And here's why I couldn't rate it higher, because I've only kind of been there with you and you kind of get hooked up there. So I don't know what it's like without you.
That was actually my omission where I had to reconfigure the list because I couldn't do a list of bars without putting Stout on there. As unofficial sponsor of my life.
It's kind of a friend of the podcast.
It's kind of a friend of the podcast. So, you know what someone told me, by the way? Malort sponsors all kinds of stuff. We should look into getting them to sponsor us, apparently.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect for us.
Yeah, that is perfect for us. They sponsor comedy open mics and pod. I guess I don't really know what else, but
whatever.
Presumably some other performance pieces. Imagine having corporate underwriting on this thing. We'd really be on the way up.
Yeah, Malort. We need Malort.
We need Malort.
We just start saying they're our sponsor until we get them. Then why would we pay?
I'm trying to think of other instances where like you just kind of like said something was the reality until it actually was.
I feel like some people operate.
Like I've tried to do those girlfriends being like, "You do love me, I know it," but it's never actually happened. Where they're like, "You know what? You're right, I do."
Yeah, that probably doesn't actually work. We can try it though.
You can try.
All right. What is your number 7?
This will be on yours. I'm confident I think you said it in your list. I know you said the one that I have next. And that is The Store.
Yeah, The Store.
Okay. Big buck hunter in the back. It's really narrow and people are on top of each other, but somehow that makes it kind of fun.
Yeah, it definitely has big buck hunter. Does it? They don't have Papa Shot there, do they? No.
And I don't know. Good neighborhood. I lived up there for a while at Armitage and basically Armitage Brown Line, which is a couple blocks away. So yeah, I'm a fan of The Store.
So you just cleared up something. This is one of those places where I don't know where it is.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where it is.
Actually, only a few blocks from Kingston Mines.
I actually think it's very close to another bar I have on this list.
It definitely is one that I did not put on this list. That is like a block away. There's a heavy concentration on Halstead of 4 a.m. bars.
All right, Store's good. Store's a good one. So then, what do you got for your number 6? Is that where you are?
Might be the first ever 4 a.m. bar I went to.
Ooh,
might be. I think that the Club Rhino, which is now in the house that Stout is. Oh no, the Club Rhino, which is not where Stout is. I don't even know what's there now. That actually might be the first 4 a.m. I ever went to. It doesn't exist anymore, but it's either that or this one, which was on like a Black Wednesday after I graduated college, and it was Taze Till 4.
Ties, isn't it? Ties
Till 4. I say Taze, but people call it different things. It really is about your pronunciation, probably about like, your ethnic background and your tongue and how things roll off of it.
I used to live right by it, so I've been there a few times.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
I've never had a good time there. I feel like it's very depressing.
The being on Ashland is not like, it makes it feel like it's not in a neighborhood.
Yeah, for sure.
And that might be add to the depression. Like this is just the only purpose of this place is like a pit stop for people on the way to rock bottom.
That's what I feel like when I go to Ties Till 4.
That's what I feel like every time I drink, though. So I just have to accept that reality.
Fact, I've had a beer at Ties Till 4 alone once.
What time was it?
After other bars closed.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I didn't know.
On the way home. It was on the way home. It was just one beer. I was like, this is weird. I get the hell out of here. Why did I do this? So then are we on to me at number 6?
We are on to you at number 6.
Number 6, I had The Store, which we just talked about. And number 5 is a bar which I believe now is right now. I have a better recollection of where The Store is. It's right by the store and might have been the first 4 a.m. bar I've ever been to. And that's Beaumont Bar and Grill, which many people call Beaumont's because they're from Chicago and like to add S's to the ends of words, but it's called Beaumont.
Well, it makes no sense that it has no possessive, because Beaumont is a town in Texas or someone's name. So I don't actually blame Chicagoans, and I call it Beaumont's for adding that S, and I did not realize that was not the actual name.
So this place is like a normal bar, kind of, but then like it 2:30 in the 2 in the morning. They like open these doors to a giant effing warehouse dance club in the back, and it's awesome.
Is Beaumont the one that's attached to the Greek restaurant?
No, that is not. That's like Hannigan's or something.
Okay,
right. That's connected to like the Athenian room. Athena room. Yeah. That's that's a different bar. That bar is skee ball though, right?
Hannigan? Yeah, that's the skee ball bar.
Yeah. But Beaumont's like big dance party. I haven't been there in years. But
I don't know. That's one of the ones that I may never have been to.
Yeah. You don't like to dance, man. It's like a big dance party.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're going to 4 a.m. bar, you're trying to maybe like meet a lady, and I got to play to my strengths, and I need to be in a venue that allows me to converse.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to anybody at a 4 a.m. bar.
I want to talk to everyone all the time.
I don't want to talk to people at 4 a.m. bars. I just want to dance and I don't want to act like an idiot. That's what they're for.
Well, acting like an idiot is implicit.
That's what 4 a.m. bars are for. Okay.
You're going there is an idiotic decision.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely have danced there with my wife when we were dating. For sure.
Oh yeah, well I could get behind that.
Yeah. It's a fun. It was a fun bar. I like to dance though when I'm drunk, so.
I mean, you and I culturally have some differences in terms of where we fall on like the spectrum of music. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why culture was necessary in my description there, because we're both white suburban dudes. But
yeah.
But your wife is half Cuban, so I mean, you got kind of married into some culture.
A little bit, yeah. So, what is your number 5?
I went with Stout at number 5. Celebrated birthdays, and I've celebrated engagements there. The one caveat, and the reason I did fudge it, and I did put it in the list, middle of the list as we started. The one reason I would actually kind of not have it higher on my list, although I have a lot of fun there. A friend of mine's a manager there. The reason I wouldn't have it higher, however, is because to me it doesn't really actually feel like a 4 a.m. bar. Although
it doesn't at all.
One time I took you there, and it was a late night instance.
Yeah,
because we had been elsewhere. Yeah. But that's not usually how it's approached to me.
Yeah,
you just end up staying late. Whereas most of these places are destinations you go to after the other bars have closed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my next one on this list is kind of like that in that I've never gone there late, but I've been there late.
Yes, I've stayed there till 4 a.m. and then when it was Manor, and then they had like another club. I was there very late, and then that was cool to drink in the kitchen, which was strange to me because you were getting free drinks, but you were in the kitchen away from everyone, and you weren't really meeting people. And then there's a busboy with a mop pushing past you, and the waitresses are putting on their makeup, so you feel like you're behind the third wall or something.
But you kind of felt like you were in a mob movie.
Yeah. Oh, you want it to be Goodfellas. That's what you want it to be. But it's not that cool, because in Goodfellas, then they go into the Copa and they're sitting up front with the bottle.
Yeah, that's the difference. You come in that way, and then you get the best.
We would go in the front and then go to the kitchen.
It's the reverse.
I do remember once they had a setup of a bottle. This was in the kitchen. This was in the garbage. I don't even know if I should be giving away these industry secrets. This was in the garbage room adjacent to the kitchen with a couple of dumpsters in it. They had lounge chairs set up and a table with a bottle on it. So it was bottle service next to the garbage.
That's hilarious. I think you can give away the secrets because this bar doesn't actually exist anymore.
This bar does not actually exist anymore, and this kind of stuff does not happen at Stout. So
that's why you're allowed to talk about it like that.
Okay. All right.
So then what's your number 4?
My number 4, we talked about it. It's Carol's. I like it. It's folksy. It's fun. I was there with a friend of mine, and I think this just kind of encapsulates it. And it angered me at the time, but it's it also was kind of folksy. There's a guy who goes around and takes Polaroid pictures, and I had to take a Polaroid picture of Margaret and I. Yeah. And then it didn't turn out that well, and I had him take another. And then afterwards, he's like, "Those are $10 a piece." And I was like,
Yeah, I think I know that guy.
I was like, those are $10. Like I thought I'd like flip them a $5. So I bought 2 Polaroids for $20 at Carol's. Also, what I love about the band is they never know the song you want them to play, or they just don't want to play it.
I've never talked to the band there.
Oh,
I know
that's
they
my
don't.
thing,
I know
'cause
they don't want any songs that I want them to play. I
Because
know
I'll
they
throw
won't.
like the things that are like on the precipice of country, like the band being one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we can't do it. I think I tipped them $20 once and they played The Wait by the band for $20 fucking dollars. I'm sorry, I just added the extra effort of a bleep. I have actually got some questions about that, by the way. Why are we bleeping? And I think the reason for that is because we want it to be universal appeal, and
I don't know.
we don't
I
want to
feel
lose our FCC license.
Yeah, I feel like it's more professional for us to
More
bleep.
professional. And less professional to say the word, so I apologize for that.
It's fine. I don't care if you say it.
Am I up
We
again?
say everything else. We just like no. That was
The
number
F
4,
word.
right?
That was number 4. So I did Stout and Carol's. Okay.
Yeah, so that's number 4 for me. Also, this bar is a bar like you said, kind of like Stout in that I've been to it late, but I didn't go to it late. And it is a big bar in the city. They have live bands a lot, and it's Joe's on Weed. And it wins bonus points for me because you can gamble there.
Yeah, it's attached to the OTB. That's really the redemptive quality of Joe's on Weed for me.
That's it.
There's a lot of crappy country concerts there.
Yeah, but you get like the cover band concerts and stuff. But yeah, I don't go to the country concert stuff. It's a good sports bar too.
It's humongous.
It's just giant.
It used to be Hogs and Honeys, I think.
Yeah, or like Hogs and Honeys was next to it, and they like, I don't know. Hogs and Honeys was over there. There's some other bars over there that like always change names. I think.
I feel like Joe's is just like buying them all and becoming the Globo Gym of bars.
Yeah, well, it like the OTB is like in it, like is like connected to it now, and it used to not be.
The OTB, where we will be 2 weeks from yesterday for the Derby, and your 30-something's birthday.
Yeah,
I wasn't trying to conceal your age. I just honestly
34th.
don't. I'm a bad friend. Oh, 34th.
Yeah,
I had a kid this week tell me I looked good for 31. I didn't really know how to take that.
I think it's a compliment.
I think it is too, but it's a strange thing to hear because I don't feel that to be that old, especially since I live like a 21-year-old.
It means he didn't think you were 31.
Yes, but maybe it's also a commentary on my emotional maturity,
Maybe.
which many women have commented on in the exit interview, if you will, of our relationships.
All right, my number 3 is the Green Mill.
Yeah, I a good pick.
Yeah, I like that place. There's like the good music going on, kind of like a good vibe. I kind of just feel like I'm in Swingers when I'm there.
I've been there, but never late.
This is kind of the thing. I've gone there late once, and I've been there and stayed late once. But I had a great time both times. It's hard for me to round up a group of people to go to the Green Mill. See, when I go to these bars, I like to go with a group of people. I need like a crew when I'm going to a late night bar.
And the Green Mill might not be like because of the jazz situation.
Not conducive
like
to a crew.
Conversing.
Yeah,
It is a Chicago institution for sure.
Yeah. But it's a good time. And they have you can get like good drinks there too. And you can get kind of the craft cocktails you want there, but maybe not served with a guy with a curled up mustache and a vest on.
Yeah. Well, because that guy's legit. That guy's the real guy.
Yeah. This is the guy that the vest and mustache guys are copying the Green Mill guy.
He was making the drinks before there was something called mixology when he was just like, I'm a bartender, but I'm good at it.
Yeah, exactly. All right. What's your number 3?
My number 3, I have a joke that's a little R-rated. I actually told it in an open mic this week because I did an open mic at a bagel shop this week. And
NYC Bagel Deli?
CBA.
Okay.
And not our former lunch spot, but and it was really not a great open mic. It was a mixed poetry, music, comedy open mic, and I basically went after bogus Simon and Garfunkel. So they really amped up the crowd of 7 for me. And As I'm telling this joke, a family of like 5 walks in with like 3 children. And this joke is about anal sex and cocaine. And a bar at which I was offered both. And the joke is that, a large Jamaican man offered me both those things. For the first time in my life, I've been offered either at Trace a couple years ago.
I've never been to Trace.
Oh, Trace, it's like the Wrigleyville 4 a.m. bar. I know you haven't been Wrigleyville drinking for years.
No, I sneaky probably been to Wrigleyville drinking more than you recently. Not during Cubs games. I don't really go to Cubs games, but I somehow weirdly get there once in a while.
I mean, I'm okay Wrigleyville drinking. Most of the times means the team is out of town, though.
Yeah.
And then I was debating whether or not to tell this joke in front of this family of 5. And then, my in the end, I just came to the conclusion that if you bring your kids to a bagel shop at 7 p.m., you kind of deserve it.
Yeah, what are you doing? Bring your kids.
What
to
are
a
you
bagel
doing?
shop?
How irresponsible of those parents to do that.
You just shove carbs in those kids' faces at 7:15. Wait, where is Trace?
Trace is
we've talked about this before.
Clark and Waveland, basically. Oh, you don't go north of Waveland.
No, I don't.
That's the problem. It is maybe 3 bars north of Waveland.
I've never been to a bar.
So there's Rocket Burger, and then maybe Trace, and then Yaxie's in some order.
Yeah, I've been the farthest north I've been is like in Wrigleyville to bars is like Bernie's, and that bar is not really a bar. It's like kind of a bar. It's like a big bar, but not always open.
Oh yeah, generic Irish name McGee, whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah,
it's so big.
It's so big. It's like only open during baseball games and like special events.
Yeah, like you could rent it out.
Yeah. So what is your number 2? Is that where we are?
Yeah, I love this place. I've probably been here as much as any 4 a.m. bar. It has an amateur magician named Lord Isaac who gave me my friend his business card. He will come to your house and play your party for $50 and a bottle of scotch. It is Butch McGuire's. It is a Chicago institution. Christmas decorations.
Mm-hmm. I've been there once.
I really enjoy Butch's. I mean, I know it's Viagra Triangle, which is certainly a negative. Makes it a little touristy, but it's a good bar.
I've been there once. Vaguely
I prefer
remember
to go there than anything in Old Town, except what you're going to hear me list number 1.
You're gonna list a place in Old Town number 1? I'm so intrigued.
The drama is amping up, isn't it?
Oh, I know what it is. You go to Second City.
You think it's a cop out? Yeah. It is kind of a cop out move.
Whatever. I won't say what it is. Anybody who's ever taken a class at Second City knows what it is. It's whatever.
All right, you do yours, and then I'll do mine. All right. There's a reason we do the snake draft.
All right. My number 2 is Yaxie's, not the one in Wrigleyville, because I don't go north of Waveland. It's the one it's like on Diversity, right?
Yes,
it's like a
way
basement.
different than the one in Wrigleyville.
Yeah, I've never been to the one in Wrigleyville. I don't know about it. It's north of Waveland.
You're right. Well, I'm telling you that it's different. You'll have to take my word for it, or you can maybe venture north of Waveland. But I feel like at this point in your life, you kind of don't want to.
No. Yeah, it's just I don't know why I like it because it's not necessarily the type of place I would like. It's just like in a basement. I feel like everybody there is really into drinking. If you're going down in the Yaxie's late at night, I mean, people are clearly looking to hook up, but everybody is super drunk and just drinking. I feel like I'm in somebody's at a basement party, kind of, is why I like it. Yeah,
I mean, I'll do Yaxie's. I've been there a couple of times.
It closed for a while and then came back.
If I'm in that hood, it's not exactly adjacent to it. I was probably more into like the Franks or the Ravens than the Yaxie's.
Yeah, I used to live by Frank's. I don't really like Frank's.
It didn't make my list. So
also,
I guess I didn't really like it that much either.
Also, I find out that I've lived in a lot of places because I keep saying I used to live by this place. You got to have a local 4 a.m. bar, apparently. So Frank's was mine once. I didn't really like it, though. All right, number 1. And I don't think you've been to this place because the fact that it's not on your list is kind of outrageous. It's the Hang Up.
Okay, I was hoping you would say that because I know you have a good story, and I've been several times. Might be a slight oversight.
Do I have a good story? I have like 100 good stories about the Hang Up, probably. first off, it has well, because I like to dance. You don't like to dance. If you don't like to dance, you have no business being in the hang up.
No, but the hang up plays like 90s music for like chubby white guys, so it's easier.
Well, they
And,
have
like-
two different floors of completely different music. The upstairs is like
Also, sorry to cut you off, but you are pronouncing it correctly. The hang up. It's
Yeah,
not the
it's-
hangy uppy, as some people say.
uppy all the time because it's spelled HANGGEUPPE, but it's just the hang up. Yeah, like the upstairs, or it's like the upstairs. Like you walk in and the floor, it's like rap music. It's like stuff you heard in college probably, and then like some like more. It's like rap music though. And then downstairs is like oldies is being played.
Like, I feel like downstairs is more like you're gonna hear like maybe
Brown Eyed Girl,
or like
100% of the time.
I was gonna say like your love by the Outfield.
100% of the time, every time that song's being played too.
Yeah.
Songs like that. Yeah. Well, I used to go. I think this is what the story you're alluding to is. I used to go there. Few Sundays a few Martin Luther King days in a row. Martin Luther King Day Eve to celebrate. Martin Luther King Day,
Which is what his dream always indicated he wanted people to do. Celebrate at the hang up.
this is the eve. On Martin Luther King Day itself, I would celebrate by watching NBA basketball during the day.
I mean, yeah, that is the way to celebrate. The NBA has the way that they did that kind of is like a little disingenuous to me. Like the NBA definitely has a lot of diversity, obviously, but they just really want to have games on all day. So they call it a celebration of Martin Luther King, but really it's a chance to get six games on national TV.
Also, is the NBA that diverse?
Well, in the way that Martin Luther King wanted it to be, it is, right?
No,
I mean,
it is actually probably pretty diverse.
Of all sports, I mean, it has it has guys from a bunch of different continents.
Baseball's probably the most diverse sport.
But there's no like international presence. I guess if you're just breaking down like white, black, Latino, baseball
has no international presence. Like all
there's
of
no
South America,
There's no European presence like the
they
NBA.
have a lot of Asian. You got a lot of Asians and a lot of South Americans, and there's like two European guys in baseball though. That's the difference, right?
a lot of white guys though. I mean, which were at one point European guys.
Yeah. But yeah, Hang Up is a disgusting bar though. But that's what a 4 a.m. bar is to me. That's like the definition.
It has like a solid foot of raw bar
Scum.
juices.
And there's like
When you go down
bachelorette parties there all the time.
Yeah, the hang up should have been on my list, but your story involves shots. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I do remember it being funny.
story. Yes. Okay. So the Hang Up, if you haven't been there, upstairs you walk in, there's a bar to the right. Downstairs, there's like all the these like nooks. Like there's like these like different rooms you could walk into, kind of. And there's like different bars. And all the way in the back, I went there with my buddy Paul, who we mentioned earlier, who was a veteran 4 a.m. bar drinker, much more than me actually, and my old roommate Vasily. And we went back and we're like, oh, let's get. So we got there kind of like weirdly early for some reason. By weirdly early at the Hang Up, it's like 11:30, and so we didn't have to wait in line basically. And we were like, all right, I don't know why we went there at that time, but like we needed to get a little drunker to be at the Hang Up because this is kind of weird. So we just went to the back to this guy. We ordered 3 tequila shots, like 3 Bud Lights, Coors Lights, or whatever, Miller Lights, I don't know. And the guy serving us was like this big Mexican dude. And he legitimately says, "Gringos want to drink tequila tonight." And then gave us a tequila for free, which was awesome. So then we like tipped him good, right? Because I mean that's what you do. We got like a bartender like give you a thing, and we went back to him all night, right? And every time we went back to him, he gave us free rounds of tequila.
So you came in 4 a.m. bar sober. I imagine you didn't leave that way.
I don't think we made it to 4 a.m. either.
No.
I just go like we all left separately. 100% left, like just ghosted out at different times. I threw up on the street 100%, like in an alley. I don't know if Paul threw up because he had an amazing like Jerry Seinfeld-esque like not puking streak. But I think he was the person who was there the latest and just was so confused. He said the next day he didn't remember how he got home. And my old roommate Vasily definitely threw up out of a window on a cab on Lakeshore Drive on the way home. And he showed up at home like after me. I didn't tell him I left. We always like ran out of the bar at different times. It was a great night. I don't remember anything besides throwing up, basically. And that's what 4 a.m. bars are about.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's $50 now or something. That didn't come around until I was like 27.
The puke in the cab.
Puke in the cab, get charged $50.
Yeah, he didn't puke in the cab though. He got out the window.
Got it out the window. Still probably a little bit
all
of,
over the
little
side.
bit of brushback on the side of the cab. I'm sure the cabbie was displeased.
Yeah, I'm sure he was too.
And then he got probably even angrier when he tried to pay with a credit card.
Oh yeah, especially back then.
God, remember how long that would take?
So my wife used to do this all the time. She like even it was a lie half the time. She'd be like, I have a credit card. And he'd be like, oh, come on, I can't. She's like, or I have $7. And it'd be like a $50 cab ride. And he'd be like, just give me the $7.
I mean, now I think it's a little different. It used to be when you got in a cab, if you were paying for a credit card, I would just immediately be like, I'm paying with a credit card. And sometimes they'd be like,
Yeah.
okay, I can't do that. And then I'd get out.
I used to do that too. Now it's like, it's a lot better now.
The system now is better.
I don't run into problems with it anymore, really.
I mean, they still prefer cash, but
Yeah, but I don't get the problem.
reality.
They don't like getting mad at me.
yeah.
Like vocally like yelling at me or something for wanting to pay with a credit card.
Yeah, which is good since it's on the Cab Riders Bill of Rights, one of the historic documents of America.
It is on the cab riders bill of rights.
That one's housed at the Smithsonian, the original version, right?
Yeah, it's not just like in the back of one of those cabs under like the like glass. All right, what's your number one improv kid?
Old Town Ale House. You're making me feel like this is disingenuous.
It is. I don't believe this is your favorite 4 a.m. bar.
It is because I've been going there a lot lately.
Late night, though?
Wait. Well, after all those 10:30 shows on Thursdays, I would go there and stay till like 3 a.m.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel it's fun. I had a very, very, very fun night there when it was the day I got back from Paris. I had my last Second City show, and then a bunch of my friends came out, and we stayed there till like closing time, basically. And they all had to work the next day, and I did not.
Well, that's huge.
Yeah, so for me, it was just like, welcome back, America. For them, it was the worst work day of my life, you know?
It is the correct bar to go to after Second City, though.
Oh, yeah, because most of the bars up there are terrible.
Yeah, for sure. What's the other one that's like right across the street?
Well, there's Corcoran's and Wells on Wells.
Corcoran's and Wells on Wells.
Those are okay.
Yeah. Old Town Ale House. Here's the thing. I just don't consider it a 4 a.m. bar. I know it is, and it's a fine bar, but it's like it's not a 4 a.m. bar to me. I know it technically is, but that's like the difference here.
You're right that I have gone there far more often in a non 4 a.m. circumstance, and maybe with that criteria, Butch's might have been a better choice as number one.
Yeah, but no, I actually don't have a problem with the bar. I didn't want to make it sound.
No. I mean, the point of this is there is a little back and forth here, and I do think you make some valid points. For those of you who haven't been, this one has been around forever, but it got famous for its political portraits of naked Sarah Palin and Newt Gingrich fondling women and things like that, which they still have.
Probably a lot of famous people have been there.
Yeah, I think in the earlier days of Second, Chris Farley's and guys of that ilk.
Yeah,
and further back than Chris Farley, of course, but
yeah, for sure.
Well, this was a fun list.
It was a good one, I think, and I'm sure people are gonna have some serious opinions on this list. So if you do have a serious opinion on this list, and think we forgot something, we have a gross oversight. You can email us, tell us about it. Firstoftheworst@gmail.com. You can tweet at us, tell us at First of the Worst, or you can tweet at me and complain about my list at Arendass, ARENDASS, or you can tweet at Brendan. It's at shy_Murph. And or if you like the podcast, subscribe on iTunes, which I'm now an iTunes guy as my phone broke. And
you're finally over on the dark side, huh?
I was started on the dark side and I went to Android and I came back. I decided, my phone didn't last as long, right? And then if you still are on Android, Stitcher app is great and you could subscribe to us there and like us on Facebook and all that good stuff. And if you want to post your own list. If you want to post your own list, post one on Facebook.
That would be awesome. In fact, that would be great interaction. We will for sure post it on the show. We will sure, at least for now. If you submit a list, it will get read on the show.
Yeah, we might just go through it quick.
Yeah, we're not gonna break it down, but we will read it on the show.
Yeah,
if there's some incentive there.
Yeah, anything else going on this week? Anything big?
I'm going to bed for a long time.
I'm just holding out for an hour and a half so I can watch Thrones.
I know. See, this is my thing. Last week I was pretty tired and I almost fell asleep, and I don't want to fall asleep because I want to be mentally with it for something so important to me.
Yeah, for sure. I understand that. You don't want to half watch Game of Thrones.
There's no way I'm doing Game of Thrones, Mad Men, and then the comedies. Something's going for the wayside tonight, and I think honestly, it might be Mad Men that I pass on because the comedies are just easier to digest.
That's how I do it. I love Mad Men. It's not a slight on Mad Men, but I like to save Mad Men for the next day because it's just too much like intensity when I go Thrones, Mad Men.
Yeah, and I also then just don't like Game of Thrones as much because Mad Men's just so good and perfect.
I haven't liked it yet this season.
Oh, I thought last week's was good. I did.
I thought it was kind of terrible.
Terrible?
Well, it's terrible for Mad Men. I didn't mean it like it was a terrible TV show.
No. Terrible's a strong word. I thought the whole waitress angle was kind of cool.
I don't like it. I don't care.
That will not be a reoccurring character, I don't think.
Here's the thing. Don bores the hell out of me right now. I like the rest of everything else going on. I don't care what Don's doing. He's just doing the same stuff he's always done.
Yeah, you're right. There's going to need to be a significant development in Don's life.
Either get better or slide farther. Don't just maintain. Though, Mad Men has a kind of history of starting slow, I think, in the seasons. And then building a crescendo of awesomeness. And that's kind of been the problem with these stupid half seasons.
Yeah, the half season thing The Sopranos did too, and it definitely made the product worse.
Yeah, the only show that really Breaking Bad nailed that. But besides that. But yeah. Don't get me wrong, I'm watching the rest of these Mad Men and I'm excited for it every time it's on. And I think
we haven't had any major plot developments with Peggy or Don.
And so, I need a Sally Draper episode.
I think you're getting some Sally tonight.
All right, that's
gotta be.
It's about time, right? We haven't really got any.
No. All right. Well, enjoy your shows. Enjoy your week.
And you enjoy your sleep,
guys. I will enjoy my slumber.
All right. Later.
Talk to you later.